Hey YouTubers again, back with my second video. I feel like this is a very important topic to talk about as well, and it has to do with male health, more so male sexual health. It's a little bit of a taboo subject. It's a little bit of a subject that a lot of males are very embarrassed to talk about, but I feel like it's a very important topic, and I feel like it's pretty much eroding the male population right now, and it's really, making things really tough for males out there, and it's really just messing up everything in general. And basically, I'm at a point in my life right now where I realize this problem, and I basically point out every problem a male has to this, to whatever I'm about to just talk about, okay? So basically, the topic that I choose to talk about right now is about pornography. Ooh. Okay? So, pornography is, it's not like it's not like it's a new phenomenon, you know what I mean? It's been around for 50, 60, 70 years, maybe 100 years, you know what I mean? As long as, since we've had print media, it's been out, okay? So people really don't think there's ever been a problem with it. Like, if it's not broke, don't fix it, right? But pornography has really changed and evolved over the last 10 or 20 years or so, okay? And I'll tell you why in a little bit. I really feel like, sexual addiction and pornography addiction is becoming a very big issue amongst men. And ladies, if you don't really think so, people just aren't informing you, because, the market right now is huge, and I'm about to get into a little bit of stats in a little bit just to really show you how big it is, okay? So, basically, the whole issue with pornography is that a male's prerogative, a male's sexual behavior or sexual profile, we should say, is very novelty. The male sex drive is all about novelty, and we are novelty seeking. So males are generally wired to always look for different partners and always wired to look at different women. And that's why we're very visual. We get in trouble sometimes for looking at other girls, when we're with your girlfriend. But this is due to something that scientists called the Coolidge effect. And basically the Coolidge effect is males are novelty seeking. And any time that a male is introduced to a new mate, it just takes them less and less time to ejaculate. Because, really they're just extra excited every time they meet a new mate. You want to Google why it's called the Coolidge effect. It's actually a pretty funny story, so check it out. But anyways, the features of high-speed internet and high-speed internet pornography nowadays really aligns perfectly with our novelty-seeking sexual behavior, because you really don't have to go nowhere to obtain it. It's free. It's fast. And the worst part is it's endless. It's literally everywhere. And it's literally anywhere we can get access to the internet, which is not limited to just a computer at your home nowadays. Like, there's laptops, there's mobile phones, anywhere, really. I've seen people at libraries try to watch that stuff, and it's disgusting. Anyways, just a little stat just to really show you how big of a problem this is worldwide. The second largest porn site in the world, YouPorn, serves up to 100 million views a day. Okay? That's about basically, like 4 times the population of Canada or something crazy like that. Okay? Every day. This actually accounts for up to 2% of all internet traffic worldwide in a day. And that's just one site. And that's the second largest site. So put that into perspective. Okay? The problem with pornography nowadays is that, males are ashamed of it to a certain extent, but they still do it. Like, any time basically that they're in a room by themselves, they're thinking about it. And, and when they do it, they feel like it's not a bad idea, and it's not that bad, because people are all coming out there and saying, oh, no, masturbation's not bad for you. It's good for you, it's healthy. Those are the arguments that people make, okay? Okay, well, you'd have to kind of argue the fact that masturbation in a shower when you're by yourself and there's nothing around you to stimulate you versus masturbation in front of a computer watching high-speed internet porn in high definition is a little bit different. Number one, that visual stimulation is really what gets guys coming back all the time. And if you were to ask a guy right now who's really into this kind of stuff and is really kind of, warped into this world, would you be able to watch this and masturbate without pornography? And the answer is probably no. You know what I mean? Like, guys are, like I said, are very visual, and you know, sometimes they need to have that visual stimulation. Okay. The problem with this is not, you know what I mean, like the act itself. Okay. The act itself, okay, it might be healthy for you to release sexual aggression every now and then. Okay. I'm not going to argue with that. What I'm going to argue is that what it does to your mind. Okay, and how it affects your mind, and how it affects your relationship with women overall, your wife, your girlfriend, girls you're trying to pick up. You know what I mean? We all have those crazy fantasies in our head about, like, you know what I mean, like random girls that you pick up on the street. You know what I mean? That you will pick up at a mall, and they'll just come back, and you know what I mean, they'll do whatever with you. I mean, because we've seen this. You know, it's all over the internet, and some of our wildest desires are fueled, and the wildest times in our lives are fueled by like these fantasies. Alright, well, what you need to realize is that it's all fake. You know what I mean? These fantasies are obviously not real. And the acting is fake, obviously. You know what I mean? So you really gotta separate reality from fantasy here. Okay? And another thing is that on a psychological level, on a brain and chemical level, every time you ejaculate, your body gives you hits of dopamine. Or anytime you see an attractive woman or a woman with really nice body features, you're going to get a hit of dopamine, okay? A hit of dopamine is very similar to when you do cocaine or when you do addictive drugs, okay? Because dopamine eventually has been known to create addiction. And as we all know, addiction is bad, and even a lot of a good thing is a bad thing, okay? So what happens is as you get these constant hits of dopamine after watching pornography, you know, I mean, day after day after day after day, is that you get very desensitized to the whole thing, to the point where you might not even be able to have real feelings about one girl, you know what I mean? Because you're basically just going to always go back and go through your endless stash and the internet database of you know what I mean, endless babes, like 10 out of 10s. So if you're looking at this all the time, and this is really what's getting you off all the time, how do you expect to be attracted to one woman sexually in real life? I mean, because you know, your brain is all about, is designed to perceive rewards and work for rewards, and like, you know what I mean, know when a reward is coming. So your brain kind of knows that you're masturbating and you're watching pornography, but when you're ejaculating and you're at that moment, you're climaxing, at that point, your brain can't really tell the difference. You know what I mean? Whether or not you're having sex with a real woman or... Alright? So, you know what I mean? The problem here is that once you are with a real woman, you know what I mean, you'll notice certain things about her, you'll pick her apart because you're used to looking at perfect 10 out of 10s, you know what I mean? So, a part of this is going to make you like unsatisfied with your sex life. A lot of guys have even really gotten problems with erectile dysfunction because of this, you know what I mean? Because number one, you know what I mean, the female body part obviously doesn't feel the same as your hand. So, you know what I mean, plus, you know, if you got that kung fu death grip, you know what I mean, then like you're really in trouble, buddy. You know what I mean? So a lot of guys will notice this, stuff like that, and the smart ones really go out to the internet and really use it productively and positively to really find out why it is that they're feeling like this. And I was one of those guys, okay? So I'm not ashamed to admit that, you know what I mean, I was sucked up in this world before, and, you know what I mean, like I am actively pulling myself out, and I'm almost already there. I actually came to this realization maybe about just almost a year ago. And if you guys want to check it out, it's on Reddit. It's called NoFap, and if you guys don't know what fapping is, I would suggest you Google it, because it's really just slang for... Alright? So, basically what these guys do is really they have a 90-day challenge where you go 90 days without watching pornography. And if you can do that, you've pretty much beat it, okay? So sometimes I know that people are so into it and they have problems with erectile dysfunction and they're really in a big rut and they don't feel good about themselves and they just want to pull themselves out of the rut. And it's not impossible, you know what I mean? Like, a lot of guys have problems, you know, I'm not ashamed to admit that that was once a problem for me as well. It's obviously not anymore. Is that, you know what I mean, you can pull yourself out of that rut just by kind of removing yourself from the situation, and you'll be amazed at how fast your mind gets used to things. You'll be amazed at how strong the human mind is and the amazing things that the human body can do. And it all starts with habits, you know what I mean, creating habits that become practices, and and practices that become habits. So you know what I mean, it's really, really good. And you know what I mean, try the challenge, and it's okay if you slip up. This entire website on Reddit is designed for guys to really get together on forums and really discuss their experiences with each other, tips on what works, what doesn't work. And let me tell you, you know what I mean, the first week or so, you know what I mean, and I don't even think I was that bad. Maybe I was, maybe I wasn't, but you know what I mean, it felt bad. So the first week or so, man, it was really bad. Like I couldn't even sleep some nights, and it just basically, I went through the withdrawal phase. You know what I mean? Like if you guys have ever gotten addicted to drugs or any kind of drugs or anything really, even addicted to a person, anything that really just like stems addictive personality, you know what I mean, or addictive behavior, you'll know that there's a withdrawal period. And some people during withdrawal periods, they will, you know what I mean, try to like lower their dose to the point where there's nothing. And that might be a good idea, but then again, you know what I mean, it's really, these are things that you do in the privacy of your own room, and you're not supervised by anybody. So if you're really mentally strong enough to pull yourself out of it, and you feel like you can lower your dose, and eventually that'll work, then you know, all the power to you. But I find that most guys won't be able to control themselves, especially when they're by themselves in their room on the computer. So what you got to do is you kind of just got to cut it cold turkey. You know what I mean? As hard as it sounds, cut it cold turkey. Try to go as long as possible. Okay, if you can't do 90 days, if 90 days seems like Mount Everest to you, do a week, do 2 weeks, then do 3 weeks, and then do a month. Okay, and you'll automatically notice that things in your life are changing. If you stop looking at this stuff, and I'm not even talking about just like video pornography, even checking out pictures of girls, or you know what I mean, checking out women in real life, and all you say is, "Damn, that ass though." You know what I mean? Like you gotta kind of get those images out of your head, and you kind of just gotta start focusing on either yourself or, I mean, just the woman in general, and you know what I mean, the good things about women that they have to offer. So eventually you'll find that, you know what I mean, your confidence will come back, your confidence to approach a girl to come back, will come back, and you'll notice that when you look at women, you won't have those crazy fantasies in your head about them, and you'll just really just open up, and you'll find that you're going to be able to just generally talk to women better. You know what I mean? You're going to feel like you understand them a little better. Because you know what? There's nothing that creates a bigger divide between men and women than pornography. So you know, if you like my messages, if you like all this stuff, you know what I mean, subscribe to my video, you know, comment. I'm always here to help you out on your journey, and like I said, it's okay to slip up once in a while, but just don't let it enslave your mind anymore. You know what I mean? And just really get out there, and your problems will be solved. You know what I mean? And you know, you will be able to have a longer lasting relationship. You will be able to have a fulfilling marriage. I believe, at least. I'm not married myself, but you know what I mean, it's good to have positive thinking, and you know what I mean, to be positively influenced by the way that you think. So you know what I mean, give it a try. You know what I mean, check out NoFap on Reddit. There's other guys who have videos who document their entire process, and you'll see guys who have slipped up at some point or another, and then you'll see how they recovered from it. But then you'll see a lot of generally feel good stories of guys who really will pull themselves out of this rut, and you know what I mean, really save their lives. So this is something that I'm very passionate about, and this is something that I talk to a lot of my male friends about, and I try to convince them about. But you know what I mean, some guys are very stubborn, so you know what I mean, like just try to get that message out, be open about it, and just realize how destructive your behavior is being. Thanks for watching, guys.